team will fight for him. It will rally for him. Carson Wentz, we've seen the bombshell stories, the exposés in Philadelphia. They don't love him. He's hard to deal with. He's hard to live. He's got diva in him, and he is not a natural-born leader. You know it, and I know it. We've talked about it for years.
Can I ask you a question? The team that won the Super Bowl, is that the same caliber talent of team that's currently playing?
It's not.
Why not then, Skip? So how's that Carson Wentz fault? You talked about they were loaded. They were so loaded as a team that the backup went and won the Super Bowl, yet you tell me as we sit here today, that's not the same caliber team.
All I know is Jalen Hurts will give them a much better chance to beat New Orleans than Carson Wentz would. Carson Wentz would lose by 30 to New Orleans.
Skip, I don't want a chance. I want to win. And that's what it comes down to. Not who gives you the better chance of winning.
So you're saying that Jalen Hurts should pull off in his first ever NFL start the biggest upset of the year in the National Football League.
How about this?
What will they be? 12-point underdogs?
Probably a little more than that. Maybe double digit. Maybe two touchdowns.
It's at Philly.
Oh, is that Philly? Okay, so 10, somewhere between 10. But okay, all I'm saying is what they have left. They have 5 games left, 4 games left. They probably 4 games left. Of those 4 games, if Jalen Hurts starts all of them, how many do you believe he will win of those last 4 starts?
I have no idea. I just know they'll be much more competitive than Carson Wentz will be.
You want to be competitive and lose.
What are they now? 3-9-1? Is that what they are? 3-9-1? I think
3-8-1. It's 12.
Maybe 3-8.
You might be right. Might be
3-8. 3-8-1. Okay, that's with Carson Wentz as your starter. That's horrendously bad. What did you do? You picked them to win the East, right?
Yes.
Okay, so help me out. 3-8-1?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and guess what? I know a team that you picked to win the division and win a playoff game and go to the NFC Championship game, and they're the worst team.
Okay, but we're talking about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles right now, and we're talking about the only reason they had a leg up on the division for much of the year is because they had a tie. But who was the tie against? It was against Joe Burrow and the Bengals at home. They got tied by the one gimme that the NFC East was given this year. Everybody's going to beat Cincinnati except for Carson Wentz. To me,
y'all not going to beat them.
Yeah, we are. We'll go there.
No, you won't.
We have to go there.
No, you won't.
It's Andy Dalton's return. He'll beat them.
No.
I'm sorry. With their back, who is it? One of the Allens?
No, he got hurt yesterday. They put Stingley in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I mean, Ryan Lindley in.
Ryan Lindley. Okay, so we will win that game.
You will win that one.
Sorry about that. In the end, again, I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts will be a Pro Bowl player. I just say he can win games because his intangibles are twice the intangibles of Carson Wentz.
What is this winning games? If you're a quarterback, you're expected to win the division.
Okay, you tell me. Who's better right now, Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts?
Skip, I said I believe they should give Jalen Hurts an opportunity, but the results will be the same because you're still using the same ingredients. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. Skip, those receivers are not going to get any better overnight. The offensive line is not going to get any better overnight.
All I know is that Philadelphia made an enormous franchise-wrecking mistake when they gave the money to Carson Wentz. You say, Jerry, you should have paid Dak. Well, here's one reason why you shouldn't have paid.
Well, you say we're not dealing Cowboys. We're dealing with Eagles. Let's deal with the Eagles. You got to make this move. They believe they had their quarterback. I still believe the direction that they should go in is opposite of what Doug Peterson is going in. So they need to unhitch their wagon to Doug Peterson and move in a different direction. That's what needs to happen.
Okay, I will buy that. I also think they need to unhitch their wagon to Wentz, but it's impossible because they owe him too much money. You're stuck with an albatross hanging around your neck that's just going to pull you down into the water until you drown the next 2 years.
Well, Skip, you had to make this decision. They made the right decision. I still believe he can play, but if you put... I don't know the quarterback that if he had that offensive line, those skill positions, even Mahomes would struggle. We saw Aaron Rodgers when Bakhtiari wasn't in there last year and Bulaga wasn't in there last year. And some of those guys, we saw Rodgers struggle. We see Tom Brady struggle when that offensive line doesn't protect him. And you expect a fourth-year guy, a young guy, to be able to hold up under that immense pressure when his offensive line can't protect him.
Well,
did we see Tom Brady against New Orleans? Did we see Tom Brady against Chicago? Did we see Tom Brady against the Rams? You see what happens when you pressure a quarterback? Now, those are all, we talk about Tom Brady, an all-time great. What do you think is going to happen to Wentz, who's been sacked 11, 12, 13 more times than the next closest? He's been hit more than any other quarterback in NFL. And you expect them to stand up under that, withstand that?
Why did they draft Jalen Hurts? Because they were dubious at best about the future of Carson Wentz. And when they thought, wow, we got a shot here because nobody's taken him yet, they jumped on that. They were smart too.
So Green Bay was smart to take Jordan Love too, right?
Yeah, I think they were. Yep. We're going to talk about that pretty soon here. Yep. Yep.
But how are they looking now? With Aaron Rodgers, so right now it's a two-man race. The MVP race is over. It's between two men, Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Everybody else, hey, enjoy the ride. Glad you. It's like the Heisman Trophy. You already know, Skip. There's only one or two guys that's going to actually win the race, but they might invite 4 or 5 guys, and you have a great time. Your family come take a look around New York and enjoy the festivities.
Yep.
But you know it, I know. It's a two-man race.
Okay.
Are you good? You good with that?
I don't know why we're talking about that because we're going to talk about it later. We're talking about Jalen Hurts was the correct pick for them because it gave them a safety valve just in case he continued on this negative path, and he did.
This is how I know you're not certain on Jalen Hurts, because normally if I say, well, Skip, they got 4 games left. How many games of those 4 is Jalen Hurts going to win? That's your guy from Oklahoma. You can't even give me. Say 1, say 2, say something.
I haven't looked hard at it. I don't really care. I just know they're going to play better and they'll be competitive in all those games. So watch them be competitive.
Playing better and losing. I thought a loss is a loss, whether you win by whether you lose by 1 or you lose by 25.
Okay, it's his first start ever in the National Football League. You love that? I don't.
Hold on, a guy that played at Alabama, a guy that played at Oklahoma, 2 preeminent programs and all, big time. He big time. Played in national championship.
What do you always tell me? College football ain't even close to pro football, right?
But hold on. You've been telling me your guy, oh, that's the guy. He's a natural born leader.
Well, let's flip it around. Let's put you on the hot spot here. Are you still saying that Carson Wentz is going to be a Pro Bowl caliber player for the Philadelphia Eagles? Because that's what you always told me. You told me he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
He might have to take his show on the road. But yes, I believe Carson Wentz can still be a Pro Bowl caliber player. Absolutely.
Why would he have to take his show on the road?
Well, Skip, look, Tom Brady in New England. Sometimes when they don't want you, you go move elsewhere. Drew Brees, he took his show on the road, went down to New Orleans. There have been a lot of guys. Brett Favre, they didn't want him. He became a Pro Bowl player, an MVP-type caliber player for the Minnesota Vikings.
But Tom Brady, Bill Belichick thought he was just too old, and Bill Belichick wanted all the credit, so he said, I want the stage to myself.
And he's looking good, too, ain't he?
Okay, and he's looking good, yeah.
He's looking good.
He's 500. Way to go. Impressive.
Is he in the playoffs?
His quarterback threw for 69 yards yesterday.
Hold on. Your quarterback,
69 yards?
Hold on. His quarterback threw for 69 and got a dub. Your quarterback threw for 335 and got an L. So which would you rather have?
I'd rather have 335. I got a shot to go places.
Go play. You win. You came to my cafe.
Yeah.
Because you got that L. That's what you got a chance for.
Yeah.
Skip, all I'm saying is, look, if one person doesn't believe you, if an organization doesn't believe in you, you have to go elsewhere. Now, I believe one of these two will not be there next year. Either Wentz is not going to be in Philadelphia or Doug Peterson is not going to be in Philadelphia. But I don't see a scenario in which both of these guys return.
Well, I don't know how do you get rid of Carson Wentz? Who's going to take that contract on? Is that what you say, to trade him? Nobody wants that.
Well, you can keep Doug Peterson and you can just release him.
Well, I agree with you. I think he's run his course there.
Yeah.
Fearless Dougie P. Well, that's fine. Do that.
But you know what? Y'all might, you know what? Even the Cowboys, you know the Eagles play your Cowboys.
Yep, they do.
So you got Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts going to beat your Cowboys.
If the game matters, I will be scared to death. I've told you from the Monday after the draft, from this point forward, I fear the Eagles if he's the quarterback, because all he did at Oklahoma was take a horrendous defense all the way to the semifinal.
Skip, the receivers are wide open. You watched him yesterday. It's one read and take off. And what teams are going to do, they're going to take his number 1 read away.
He wasn't one read and take off at Oklahoma under Lincoln Riley. Trust me.
The guys are wide open.
Who's wide open?
Everybody that was in that offense.
Well, then you're telling me the receivers are great.
What?
How are they wide open when you say they're all
Skip.
junk?
Skip. I'm saying in college football, everybody that
in college.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I thought you meant here.
No. In college football, you know they play so much in space. You got guys throwing for 600 and 700 yards. Like, come on, man.
They triple team my guy CD. That's what he was dealing with.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
they're not triple teaming the CD right now. How you doing? They're not triple teaming. He looked like Jordan Jefferson, the guy in Minnesota.
Yeah.
CD Lamb. You told me CD Lamb was better than he was. He played. That's what you told me, Skip. You came out here last week and said CD Lamb is better than Jefferson.
I'm going to stay on topic. I told you Jalen Hurts would be better than Carson Wentz, and I stand by that. And if he is the starter going into next year, I'm going to fear Philly every week. Because they will start winning games.
So in other words, you can say Jalen Hurts is better than Carson Wentz if he only loses by 15 or he only loses by 7 as opposed to losing by 10 and 17. Gotcha.
No, he's just going to be better. They'll be
better.
I just might pick him to win the East next year. I just might.
You can't say somebody is better.